Okay, here are the last starters for the week, and I realized again that I did not leave enough room, so I'm going to do my work for number 3 up here. So I've got 104 miles and 4 gallons for trip 1, and 78 miles and we don't know how many gallons for trip 2. So I'm going to take that information and I'm going to write a proportion. So I have 104 miles and 4 gallons. And then I have 78 miles on this side. And I don't know how many gallons, so I just use a G on the other side. And remember that if I have miles on top on this side and gallons on the bottom, then I have to have miles on top on this side and gallons on the bottom on this side. So I multiply, cross multiply. G times 104 is 104 G. And then 4 times 78 is 312. Remember that those two things have to be equal. So then I split my equals at the equation at the equal sign. And I want 1G. So the opposite of multiplying by 104 is dividing by 104. So we have 104 divided by 104 is just 1G. We write it as just a G. And then 312 divided by 104 is 3. So in my chart, the G is equal to 3. And then I just want to check that to make sure that it's true. So I put 104 over 4, and I put 78 over 3, and I cross multiply for both of those. So 104 times 3 is 312, and 4 times 78 is 312. So I know if those numbers match, then my 3 is right for the G. All right, for number 4, I have tree 1 was 15 inches in 4 years, and tree 2, we don't know how many inches in 3 years. So I write my equation, or write my proportion, 15 inches and 4 years. And then on the other side, I don't know how many inches in 3 years. So I cross multiply. 15 times 3 is 45. And then 4 times x is 4x. Those two things, remember, have to be equal. When I have a proportion, when you cross multiply, they have to be equal. So then I split that equation. I don't want 4x's, I just want 1. So I divide by 4, and I divide by 4. 45 divided by 4 is 11 and 25 hundredths. And 4 divided by 4 is 1x. So x is 11 and 25 hundredths. We're going to put that in my chart here, 11 and 25 hundredths. And then we're just going to check to make sure that that's right. So I'm going to check it here. I have 15 over 4 and 11 and 25 hundredths over 3. If I cross multiply 15 times 3, that equals 45. And 4 times 11.25 is 45. So since those two things are equal, my 11 and 25 hundredths is right. So then we come to the bottom. And we're going to do the same thing. So I'm going to write it out over here. So 1/3 is equal to x over 12. We just cross multiply. 1 times 12 is 12. 3 times x is 3x. Those two things have to be equal when I have a proportion. I split my equation. I want just one x, so the opposite of multiplying by 3 is dividing by 3. 12 divided by 3 is 4. 3 divided by 3 is 1x. So x is equal to 4. And then if I cross multiply, 3 times 4 gives me 12, and 1 times 12 equals 12. Okay, on this one, I have 5/9 is equal to 25 over y. So I cross multiply. 5 times y is 5y. And 9 times 25 is 225. Those two things have to be equal when I cross multiply. If it's a proportion, they have to be equal. So I split my equation. The opposite of multiplying by 5 is dividing by 5. 5 divided by 5 leaves me with just one y. And 225 divided by 5 is 45. So I can check that. 5 over 9 equals 25 over, we said y was 45. So if I put my 45 in for y, 5 times 45 is 225. And 9 times 25 is 225. So 45 is the correct answer for that one. Y is equal to 45. All right, number 7. 26 over z equals 13 over 22. So we cross multiply. 22 times 26. 22 times 26 is 572. And z times 13 is 13z. I split that equation. I want the z by itself, so the opposite of multiplying by 13 is dividing by 13. And 572 divided by 13 is 44. And 13 divided by 13 is 1z. So z is equal to 44. And then I could check that. 26 over 44 and 13 over 22. When I cross multiply here, 22 times 26 is 572. And 44 times 13 is 572. So I've got those right. So that means my answer of 44 is correct for z. And then the very last one is b over 30 is equal to 2 6/10 over 1 5/10. So I cross multiply. 1.5 times b is 1.5b. And then 30 times 2.6 is 78. Then I split that equation. The opposite of multiplying by 1.5 is dividing. by 1.5. So I have to do that on both sides. So 1.5 divided by 1.5 is just 1b. And 78 divided by 1.5 is 52. So b is equal to 52. And then I can just check it. 52 over 30. 2 6/10, 1.5. And if I multiply 30 times 2.6, that's 78. And 1.5 times 52 is 78. So I know if those two match, then my answer here is correct.